on blue, IG on red. We're back to the triple jungle bans from BLG. With the Zeri gone, Wukong... Oh, no, Wukong was banned as well. I can't read. Viego available, though. Way are locking in.
Yeah, these are the exact same bans as game number 1, but will mean the Viego locked in. I think we're looking at the Senna TK potentially coming through for IG over on this side as well. Now, I'm actually curious to see if they decide to lock in a jungle pick here, or if they do just go straight for the Time Kench, because there is also an opportunity here where you kind of look and go, okay, maybe we go for something funky like the Seraphine, depending on what BLG pick up on the opposite side, like if they pick something like an Ezreal, but looks like, yeah, IG would just kind of hold off on that support pick until they see exactly what's going to come through on BLG's side here.
Yeah, makes sense, especially when you have 280 carries on your roster. This center could go in either role. I don't know. This center is a mystery pick here with Wink and On working together. We'll have to wait and see where on it they go with that one. The Kalista has been a significant highlight champion throughout this series and will be locked in once again. It's going to be that Renata too. So Doggo and Crisp going with a fairly classic bot lane matchup now, but they're up against a Seraphine. That's going to be a fasting center Seraphine bot lane. We could see a long-range comp come out from IG.
Yeah, all I'm saying is I nailed it. Like, I think this is such a strong combo. And the thing is, right, with Gwen still up on the table, you can take that for Zika. You get a ton of healing coming through from the Senna and the Seraphine. Swain in the mid lane for Uakai now comes up a notch as well, because don't forget, we are playing the patch with nerfed grievous wounds, and when you just go full healing, it can be so obnoxious to deal with. And BLG kind of going, here, we need to get rid of this Swain. This is not something we want to deal with.
Certainly not. The amount of healing that's already going to be coming through, you don't want to Swain in the mix of that as well. Azir taken off, as you say. Now Silas being removed from Icon. So a couple of respect bans there from Icon. And I will say, the Azir and the Silas have been his best 2 champions from what I've seen in the recent games. But last game, remember, his Ahri did the most damage in the entire game. So certainly no slouch on other champions. But now we need to see where IG want to go in one of their solo lanes.
Yeah, I'm really curious as to what they decide to go with. I feel like we're probably looking at some sort of facilitator here for Uakai, though. Like, I think the Swain was probably a good option for him, but obviously that's taken off the board. But yeah, I feel like having something where he plays an engage tool is going to work out well, because realistically, you are looking towards a counter pick for Zika or maybe something like Gwen here. So having Uakai be able to step up and provide that engage tool, set up alongside, well, whoever ends up piloting the Seraphine for the ultimate, I think is going to be a really good shout.
See, the Fiora, it's been a pick that's been banned a lot over the course of this split. We've seen very few actual picks of the Fiora, but it is an absolute terror on the patch. It's not going to be locked in. I've been baited. It is, in fact, going to be the Gnar coming out for a bit.
Yeah, now I'm curious to see what Icon goes for. I don't want the Corki, because I think you need something that's going to be able to play towards your early game strengths. Talia would actually be, I think, be a great pick here. Good push. The only thing you have to be worried about is like the pressure coming through from Uakai and Shun in the early stages. But if you can bypass that and actually look for roams, I think you're going to be in a pretty good spot to try and look for dives on bot side, like snowball Doggo into a good position, and then try and play off of mid game fights, because late game IG are just gonna have your number completely, especially if you end up with something like the Gwen here on the top side for Zika. Like, the scaling is so damn good, the healing's gonna be absolutely insane. Actually already could work here as well, good counter into the Gnar, and again, like, it's about trying to abuse the healing that this composition can give. But okay, I'm actually gonna lock in the Sejuani for Zika in the top lane. That's not really what I expected the direction to go.
It's not exactly a pick that screams Zika, is it? Like, the Aurelia are much more down his sort of alley in terms of playstyle, but, well, certainly having a tank in the top side. And I will say, Sejuani is kind of disgusting right now. Like, it feels so strong up in that top side. Works very well with the Lissandra too, right? You have so much CC to follow up on for the likes of Wink and Arn and Shun to get some damage down. Does feel like a very aggressive comp here for BLG. Less aggression from IG, right? They very much are going to be wanting to look later in the game with a Seraphine in the center.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see how BLG want to try and play out this aggression, because I do agree with you, Munch. Like, this is a composition that needs to hit the ground running, but Icon did opt in towards the counter matchup in the mid lane, so not going to be able to look for a huge amount of damage on towards the Lissandra. Especially, you have to be careful of, like, the mid jungle from IG, because I think it's just on the so much stronger, where you can get the lock up onto either the LeBlanc or onto the Viego. Great follow up from the Xin Zhao, great chase potential. Like, it actually becomes quite hard to manage against this. And if you end up losing the mid jungle, it becomes a lot more difficult to try and play out the map state as well. So you can find those early leads. So I'm really curious to see what the game plan is here for BLG.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see once we get into the game. And also for IG, like, I feel like weirdly enough, when the game was fast, BLG won, and when the game was slow, IG won. Which is the total opposite of how I would have anticipated that being in my head. But feels like BLG can set the pace for the game once again. Icon playing his most played champion of all time on that LeBlanc. Feels like BLG, if they can be proactive like they were in game number 1, this could be a really, really nice setup for them.
Yeah. In the early game, I'm going to be keeping my eyes on Shun to see how he's going to be able to respond to what BLG wants to try and do. As you say, you've got like great bot lane here for BLG to play around. Icon with the ability to maybe roam down onto that lane as well to get some of these early dives going. But I think you've got a lot here for Shun where you can try and match Weiwei in these early stages and make life really tough for this Viego.
Yeah, try and give Weiwei a taste of his own medicine after game number 2 as well. Remember, Weiwei had complete control of that jungle matchup in the second game of this series. Shun felt like he fell pretty far behind, but then obviously got that big play at level 6 on the Wukong, managed to find Weiwei, and managed to turn the game around. So we'll have to see if Shun can find that advantage in the matchup here. As early trades already in the bottom lane. Crisp and Doggo need to be cautious, though. Not just to... Oh, actually, flash forward. Never mind. Not being cautious at all. Going for damage. Going for a very aggressive trade. They got some damage down. I don't know if it was worth a flash.
No, especially because you still have the TP here for On. So the ability to actually, like, push in this wave, reset, even if you take a bit of damage, is going to be there. Plus, over the course of time, On's just going to heal that up, right? Like, you've got the Senna and the Seraphine. One of the big talking points is that healing in this lane. So, unusual for Crisp to go that aggressive, unless he's really setting up for Weiwei to make some sort of play in the early stages with a gank. But I don't know. Like, you have to make this now count, and you've got a 5-minute window to do so.
Yeah, well, we'll see. It certainly, like you say, can set up for that order. If a handshake can land, if Doggo can go forward aggressively, he has the cleanse. So it's very difficult for On and Wink to stop Doggo being aggressive if they get caught out. So we'll see if that'll work out. It was a flash for flash, but plus that ignite on top. And as you say, On can easily return to the lane. Unless he's dead. You need to, like, crash a wave and kill him simultaneously to find that big advantage we're looking for.
And that's not going to be an easy one, especially because Shun is matching Weiwei here. You can see he went from red Raptors into his bot side, so understanding which way this Viego is clearing and making sure that he's on this bottom side to match any sort of pressure that comes down. LeBlanc trying to crash this wave in mid, so Icon, it looks like getting a nice stack, so it looks like it will be an attempt at some sort of dive. I just don't know how clean this is going to be when you've got Shun in position.
Nice Scry's Bloom there to spot out Shun from Weiwei. He'll be able to go for the bot Scuttle Crab. The Shun is pathing up towards the top side, kind of boomeranging it with his Crooks still available up there. So Weiwei goes for the Crab, will return to his bottom side jungle here. Chickens and Crooks still available. On 1 HP, Doggo jumps forward. There's first blood. We said it was a difficult window, but they found it.
A nice job by BLG to do so. They knew that once Shun was moving back up towards the top side, they need to go for the dive, and Doggo and Crisp really well played to actually get the kill. On will TP back to the bot side, but the damage is already done. A kill for Doggo. Boots already picked up. He's in a great spot. We just catch it here in the replay. So, yeah, Crisp just getting right the way up in his face. Manages to get the handshake. And Doggo flashing forward to finish off.
Really nice from Doggo, actually, there. He used his martial poise to jump out of the route from Wink, then flashes forward to finish off the kill. So I think the alternative is use the cleanse on the route instead, but deciding that just moving away, dodging the route instead, and finishing that kill was the play. So nicely done here by the BLG bot lane. Weiwei sticking around too. On still no flash. This could be an opportunity for a bonus kill onto On. Maybe Wink could be the target. Root going to come down onto Weiwei. On getting some spears stacked up onto him here. There's the flash stun. And there's another kill for BLG's bottom lane. They're going to be able to slam a turret. This time, no TP in the mix.
I mean, this is so well played by BLG, and we said that this is a team, I mean, until Icon joined, that was very much struggling to get these early game compositions to work. There wasn't much interaction between the lanes. There wasn't really much of, like, Weiwei playing towards his laners, but now you're seeing, with 2 kills already to Doggo, the kill going over onto the Seraphine again, this is BLG commanding the early game.
Some trade from Icon there, Shun. Moving into the mid lane to try and get Yuakai a reset here, trying to get his mid laner a free little crash there. Icon just going to have to clear this wave. And yeah, as you say, really nice, aggressive stuff from BLG. And this seems to be a new style for them, right? Be aggressive, try and find advantages in the early game. And like I said in game number 1, Dagda, I'm here for it. This is my kind of BLG. None of that really slow farming nonsense. Crisp looking for yet another play. The handshake to find the double stun on the target once again. He still doesn't have flash. There's a rend. There's a kill for Doggo. That's a hat trick already on the board as Shun wants to answer. Doggo flashed upon by Shun. Can they finish this kill off? They need the shutdown. The heal. The flash forward. Wink gets the kill in the end. He's pulled underneath tower though. Crisp is going away. Is on the route. En route to try and finish off Wink here. It's going to be the more. Can he land the stun onto Wink? Crisp getting a shield down. Shun jumps onto Weiwei. They just turn the damage around. Oh no, the bailout! I can't believe they don't get that one. It's a double for Weiwei. It's a disaster for IG.
And BLG are looking to pick up their 2nd win of the split. It has been a struggle. It has been a lot of learning along the way, and maybe Chris about to learn something more.
We ain't done just yet. Oh, the stun from Weiwei! It stops the route. Oh my days, that was so clean.
That was sick. It's so well done. And now BLG going to be in a fantastic spot. 5-1 on the scoreboard. And this was just BLG doing such a good job again of continuing this pressure. Crisp handshakes in to get the kill onto On now. Doggo goes unfortunately that bit too far forward because he doesn't spot Shun in time. And then with the flash forward, does get the route here. The spear to land for Shun so we can follow up. But again, Weiwei just in a really good spot here to match and picks up 2 kills on his bot side. So 3 kills now for Doggo, 2 for Weiwei. And IG, we try and start up this dragon. Should be able to get it with Weiwei resetting. But this bot lane belongs to BLG.
You know, this is not particularly relevant, Dagda, but it's just dawned on me that if you didn't know League of Legends and you listen to a League of Legends cast, with the amount of talk of bushes and roots, you would think that this is some kind of gardening show.
Yeah. I mean, especially when you start looking at like some of the names, if we end up with like Zyra in the game or, you know, Pop Blossom and these kind of things for Nico, like this is where we just start to turn into what's it called? I want a foraging podcast. That's what I want. My sister's gotten into foraging recently. And when we go for hikes, she likes to go forage. Yeah.
So like finding berries and stuff.
Yeah. So I'm down to just bring her on and we just turn this into a foraging podcast.
I'm in. Icon, foraging for a pick here. Not to you, Kai. Won't be able to find it for the time being. Herald started there by Bin, but immediately stopped again. So, as a pretty big lead so far for BLG. I feel like IG kind of in a bit of a dodgy position. They do have good scaling. Bin dodging away as Shun tries to make a play on the top side. Weiwei's here too. He's already on the Herald. Shun wants to contest this, but I don't really know. They're outnumbered here. I don't like this.
No. Just move away. Run. You know what I tell? Oh, no, actually, BLG give him a lot of space here. I'm surprised.
A lot of respect. Reset comes through the Herald, and now Crisp is here too. The whole gang is coming. We've got a 5v5 on our hands. That's going to be big damage. Weiwei survives though and gets a reset again. He just keeps getting away with it. I can't believe what I'm seeing right now. Viego is definitely a champion as Zika dodges away from a house but can't dodge the distortion. It's 4-0, and BLG show us how early game is meant to be played.
I mean, this is beautiful for BLG. The early skirmish is going so well. But when we get this replay, keep your eyes on Bin, because he styles on Zik at the start of this fight to get that massive Gnar in the middle of this skirmish. Like, that was actually sick. You'll see it here. Watch the Gnar. So Bin, as he's about to hit, steps one side of Zika, flashes the ultimate, hits Gnar, and just throws IG into the wall. So well played by Bin. and then sets up beautifully for Weiwei to continue to get these resets. I mean, BLG styling on IG in Game 3.
And Bin almost getting the kill onto his late opponent there with the house at the end. That would have been the perfect cherry on top on the back of that fight. It's 9-1 in favor of BLG. BLG having a kill a minute for the next 3 seconds at very least so far in this game. Like, that is mental. Just think back to BLG in spring. Think back to BLG this split so far. They've been so slow. I'm going to be totally honest. They've been really boring to watch. Now, completely changing their style, and I'm loving every second.
Well, that's the thing. Like, when you look at BLG traditionally, like, on average this split, they are 10th in the league with 3.3 kills by the 15-minute mark. We are 10 minutes into this game, and they have tripled that amount already. Yeah. If you look at game number 1, they've been so much more aggressive as well. Like, this is such a different look from BLG. And I mean, look, we talked about it being an iconic change. Well, we're definitely seeing the results.
Yeah, and honestly, I am surprised by the performance today because we were looking over that footage and, you know, saying an iconic change. We were saying, you know, it's in the team fights that he's been able to actually find these impacts. This early game stuff hasn't really worked out for him. Well, apparently they've been practicing. Apparently they've continued to improve on that one because it's feeling good. And Weiwei is loving having a laner that he can roam with, right? Having a mid laner that he can link up with because Weiwei has been the benefactor of a lot of all of this.
I'm probably going to see it again here in a moment. Icon getting vision control now in the spot side jungle to make sure he can spot out where Shun is, link up with Weiwei, look for potential plays on bot side, and mid until Dragon and BLG have a ton of control. Like, they are doing a really good job of snowballing this game. Weiwei throwing down the Rift Tower in the mid lane, though, maybe a tad early. Might have used that to get mid lane priority at the Dragon in just a moment's time, but should get decent damage on the mid lane turret here.
Yeah, at the same time, just getting a bit of gold into Icon's pocket, right? And I think BLG rightly assessing the fact that, hey, they're 6k gold up. I don't think they need the Herald to fight priority. I think they'll get priority. I think they'll be able to just win the fight. So I kind of like just giving the gold over to the LeBlanc. Why not at this point? You've got the luxury to be able to just drop it when you feel like.
And this was the problem that I had with IG's composition when they didn't go for something that was a bit more carry-oriented in the top lane. Because you can see here, Bane is just having a field day, getting to what he wants. But you don't have anywhere on IG that you can look to play around. Like, you don't have an Aurelion this top side where you can go, okay, well, look, bot lane's gone completely astray. Let's just try and put all of our eggs into the Zika basket. Or try to trade back and forth somewhere on the map. Instead, they kind of just have to take their beating, and BLG are happy to dish it out.
Well, Bin just going to slam Shun against the wall and zip away. He's fine. He's okay. He survived that one. Nicely done there by Bin. Survived the play. Gnar will be on cooldown, but let's be honest, it's not that big of a cooldown anyway. Arn and Wink, Arn's seen this situation before. Wink, welcome to the club, buddy. It's going to be the taunt onto both of them. They're smashed together by the handshake, and it's going to be Wink taken down at the dive as well. Very nicely done. Weiwei taking a bit of damage, but he'll be okay just about.
Yeah, nearly regretting taking the slightly less health champion there, but going to be okay as he gets his way out of that one. And I mean, clean dive from BLG. What is there to say? 5-0 for Weiwei, 4-1 for Doggo. Dragon goes their way as well. And as we said, like, what does Shun do? There's no counterplay. There's no other side of the map to try and make happen because you've got Zika on the Sejuani who wasn't able to find the engage onto Bin. So now BLG get to do this, and all you really lose is, I mean, 2 camps top. Not really anything to write home about.
I mean, Shun got the blue buff, so who's the real winner here? Shun having to use his ult.
He's going to give it to Bin.
Just to survive Bin. Oh, no. I guess he didn't get the blue buff after all. Bin's going to look for more. 1 or 2 more autos. Bin's going to go for this. A 1v3. He's about to turn mega. No! Shut down and saved by Arn and Wink. Shun did get the blue buff after all.
That was so close to going the opposite direction, but Icon will end up just pushing Yukai over the wall, but I thought Bin was actually going to get the kill. That mist coming through from Wink, so clutch to keep Shun alive, but now you can even see it. Look, they'll get some pressure on the top side. May actually get some damage on the top tower, but Weiwei's already here, and Crisp is here as well.
Weiwei dodges the route. Crisp going to look for a handshake here. On could be the target. That's going to be the handshake. Waiting for the flash, but missed, unfortunately. As Wink just getting some damage down, we'll be able to get a couple of souls off the back of this trade. But BLG don't find the kill they were looking for. However, Herald up in 50 seconds, and control will absolutely be theirs.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not even sure if they're going to just completely push in on this top side and look for the tower before the Herald spawns as well, because, I mean, On was relatively low, but is actually sticking around. Wink is resetting, so may have a numbers advantage, but BLG instead is going to look to try and deny vision and access to this river for this next play. Zika has TP, and kind of for some, but yeah, that's the terror gone.
No. The tower's gone, and On's like, wait a second, I was meant to clear under tower. What do I do when there's
Zika.
no tower? Now it's Crisp caught by Shun in the meantime. Been in trouble. Zika's trying to get a solo kill here. Whiffs the ult though, and that'll be Shun falling. And again, IG getting close to finding these plays, but can't find them in the end. Wei now going to look for a stun as Icon's here as well. Crisp there. They just need to layer the CC. Nice little dash by Zika. Oh, he actually gets away with it.
I have no idea how Zika managed to dodge, duck, dive, and roll his way out of that one, because holy God, that was so close. But we still will have Rift Tower going across the BLG. They still have pressure on the top side. They're still getting these kills. And honestly, I'm not going to lie, I would never have expected a game like this coming out from BLG. This has been so well played in the early stages. Really good understanding of playing around their win conditions. And the aggression and the map movement that we're seeing is actually incredible. This is so good from BLG.
I'm loving every second of this. And, like, you know, it's a bit of a stomp, let's be honest. IG are getting kind of beaten down, honestly, in this game. But I'm enjoying the fact that BLG are being proactive and doing something in the early game. Wei having a great game for himself. Doggo the same. Like, feels like a really positive change for BLG. IG, though, not out of the game just yet. A lot of scaling on their side. Perhaps if they can just weather the storm, maybe BLG will stall out.
Yeah, I mean, BLG don't really want to give him that time, though. As you can see here, Bin takes top tower before Rift Tower comes up. You've got a very low mid lane tower. Bot tower just falling there to Bin as well. Like, I don't know. This is looking real hard for IG. Yes, they definitely have scaling, but this game doesn't feel like it's slowing down anytime soon with the way BLG are playing.
No, absolutely not. They are pushing their best foot forward every single time. Drake up at 1:20 as IG try and find their way into River, try and find some semblance of control, but it's going to be a tall task if BLG can test them at all.
I mean, even if you try and get control over River here as IG, BLG just run down mid. They have the Rift Tower. They can take 2 towers for that, and I mean, that's not a trade you really want to take for IG, so you have to be very careful as to how you play this as IG. I mean, maybe you can try and look for some sort of flank onto Uakai. You lock up Doggo, look for some sort of play there, but again, there's just so much of a power spike here for BLG off of 2 items on towards Doggo. Crisp having the Shreddies now as well. Bin even looking for the flank with his Triforce. BLG are so strong.
Oh, Crisp actually just flashing over the tower to find the combo. Shun alone there. Crisp going to be pulled back by the Kalista ulti. And it's just kill after kill for BLG. Crisp shielding his whole team. Nobody even goes down. Yukai got a fair few spears through his head right now. Needs to be cautious. And Wei, yet another double kill. They just keep on coming.
And it means that BLG will have to reset, Wink trying to chase them out. But Dragon's up in 10 seconds, so they will actually manage to get back here in time for that objective because Shun is dead. On will have TP to get in, so maybe maybe IG can mount some sort of defense here, but I just don't think so, especially with that Rift Tower still ticking away in Wei's back pocket. That's where you're looking to see if they can actually trade that for mid lane pressure, and they don't even bother. Finn's just going to take the Dragon himself.
Yep. Like with Bin and Icon still in the play, there was no way for IG to threaten this Drake. Very nicely done by BLG. Manages to get themselves second Drake on the board. Now Yuakai wanted to threaten the top tower, but Icon TPs, and he doesn't just want to defend the tower. He wants to find himself a kill. Root comes on out. 2 chains! It's Icon grabbing himself solo kill.
And you see that IG were trying to move up towards this top side to defend Yuakai, but you don't get the chance. Icon picks himself up a second kill, and every time we get some sort of play tried to be made by IG, BLG just shut them down. Great engage from Crisp here. Throws out the ultimate straight over the top as well to make sure everyone's locked up. And because Crisp spent so long tanking up the tower, it actually works out perfectly where BLG get kills, get the tower, and then come back away without anyone falling.
Yeah, I'm just watching Crisp in that fight. After they engage, he's tagging the tower, right? And you just see him feebly auto-attacking on the tower, like, guys, please, it's on 2 HP. Someone just hit the tower, keep me alive. And then luckily, Doggo used that Fate's Call, keeps his support safe. Or his, yeah, no, it is a support on that side. I was going to say his other AD carry. That's the IG situation.
Yeah, you got to be careful with those ones, especially when there's a Senna in the game. Now, BLG moving in towards this bot side. Bin going to be pushing in. You've got complete control mid. All you have to do here is BLGs, like push mid, establish vision control bot side. You even got the Rift Tower that's just been placed by Weiwei that we kind of forgot about at this stage because there was so much action, but here we go.
Flash forward from Weiwei. That's going to be all used. Traded for a cleanse and a flash from Wink here, which ultimately, Wink now going to be very vulnerable in the next bit of play. Icon getting a bit more damage down. On is not having a fun time. He is 0-6 in this game, and he's a long way away from being that powerful late game Seraphine that we're all so afraid of. Bin in the meantime, just threatening away the side lane. Happy to keep this going all day long.
I will say though, for as IG that doesn't have their main roster, this was a really good game from IG. Apart from this, sorry, good series, I will say. Game 3 definitely has gone completely out of control. But Game 1 and Game 2, incredibly close. Game 2, they absolutely stomped on BLG. So honestly, I think for IG, this is another one that we're going to chalk up in the books as, you know, an almost. But there is always the thing of like, look, this is now 6 almosts that we've had. They have 1 win. This would, when they lose this, inevitably, which I feel like they're going to at this stage, they'll be now 1-5. You're already a third of the way through your split. Like, there's only so much that we can say for IG about almost. They really need to start picking up these wins.
They do. It feels like the same story between IG and FPX, right? IG gonna almost find the engage, but everybody whiffs everything in the meantime. Baron's gonna go down, and Bin is just running loops around them, just pulling them off to the side. Icon finds Haru on. Gonna find his 7th death of the game. It ain't pretty as Wink takes a huge chunk. The bailout isn't gonna be enough. It's not gonna be there in time. The resets, though, will be. There's a double kill coming through for Weiwei. As I get confused once again because the icons change whenever Viego changes champions. It's so frustrating. But it doesn't matter because it's 19 kills on the board as BLG will break this base open. And at 22 minutes, this game already feels over.
Yeah, I mean, you've now got the Viego clearing out the entire bot side jungle for IG as well, making sure they have no extra goal when they come back up off of respawn. And this was domination from BLG, but so well orchestrated. And I think this is what a lot of us were looking for to see from BLG, was them getting back on the horse. Like we just talked about IG having a ton of almosts. Well, this was where BLG were like, well, you shouldn't have had some of these losses that we kind of saw come through. Like Anyone's Legend, I think, was a big surprise to people as AL were able to beat them 2-0. Like this was BLG kind of saying, look, we're back and we're definitely here to try and get themselves back into playoffs, because they have played a lot of like tougher opponents, like Top Esports, EDG recently, LNG in their first week as well, which didn't go so hot. So when you look at like their upcoming schedule between like TT and that, like there could definitely be a little bit of a hot streak in BLG's future.
Certainly could be. BLG trying to find themselves those wins on the board, and they'll certainly be able to at least find this bottom inhib tower for now. As been. I hate that there's no space between the name and the tricode in LPL. As Icon's been caught. That's the second fight in a row where he'll be caught. He's got the bailout, but I don't think anyone will fall in time as he just goes down. And that's the power of the Lissandra. When you're playing against a LeBlanc, it's so easy to just lock it up and take it down. That'll be the bot inhib taken, though. BLG, even losing the fight technically, still have control.
Yeah, I mean, 2 inhibitors now down. Dragon is there if they want to go and take it. You can just rotate wherever the hell you want on this map right now as BLG. It don't matter. Like, this game is so done. It's so over. Like, you've got 3, nearly 4 items completed for Doggo. Bin is literally playing with his food in mid lane. There are 3 members of IG chasing them down. And Bin is just like, this is fine. I'm totally alright.
He's okay on this one. 2-1 of 4, not been the most impactful player on the team, but he's consistently been like tethering IG, right? And you see that Yokai very nicely done with the flash to just deny anything from Icon. It's a good pick, but ultimately can't defend the base.
Yeah, and that's the main part here. Like Icon, we always kind of knew that LeBlanc. Oh, hang on. Oh, bye, Bin.
Well, if a comeback happens, Uakai gets MVP. That's what I'm saying. Because that's what, 3 fights in a row now where Uakai has locked somebody up and found a pick for his team. So nice stuff there on the Lissandra from Uakai. But BLG playing this one by the book as they move up towards that top side. They're going to look for a 3rd inhibitor, but at minimum, they'll get a tier 2 tower.
Just on the replay there, you see Sejuani for Zika managing to get the ult over the wall to pick off Finn. But, I mean, you're even seeing, regardless of the fact that it's a 4v5, BLG are still controlling the map. Honestly, probably still pretty happy to take a team fight when you have no ultimate from Uakai or Zika available. And it's just going to be a little bit of a, we're going to wait this one out. And wait until Baron comes up. You can then look to try and take that last top tower. They're just looking at this 4th dragon for themselves as well, coming up in just a few moments' time, which honestly is actually pretty decent for them. Like the Cloud Dragon stacking having like the slow resistance stuff in it is actually really nice for the composition that IG the composition that IG have.
Yeah, definitely is that bonus move speed always going to be useful. Dagda, I feel like we're just dotting the I's and crossing the T's on this one, but again, I've just been impressed by BLG. A little disappointed on IG's side that this is the comp that they drafted for the 3rd game though. I will say, like, I wish we'd seen a bit more aggression from IG for game number 3 after how close game number 1 was and IG controlling game number 2. I feel like if you just match a bit of that early presence for IG, this could have been a really close game. This could have potentially been a 1 series for IG, but this very slow composition, I don't think really working towards that style.
Yeah, I mean, it is a nice idea, and I think if they had managed to hold a little bit more control in the early stage of the bot side, it would be fine. But on like slipping behind 2-3 kills level 1, and they just never managed to hit their late game scaling. So for BLG now, as you say, just about finishing this one off, and yeah, I mean, I'm already just thinking about the next series.
So what are you doing with the rest of your Thursday, Doug?
Well, I got to record the podcast after today's show.
Oh.
So, yeah, it's going to be a fun one. We're going to have Jamada join myself and Ox, so looking forward to that. Should be a lot of fun. Yeah.
That does sound
What are you going to do? What are you
lovely.
up to?
Well, I've got another series of League of Legends. I've got RNG versus OMG on the clock.
All right. Do you mind if I join you for that?
Do you know what? You're always welcome, Doug. Go on then. I won't solo cast just this once. I'll let you cast with me. Yeah, don't know for the afternoon though. Maybe a bit of Stellaris. You never know.
Oh, you're obsessed with that now.
It's so good.
You were trying to. So we were over at LEC last weekend, and Munch spent, I'd say, a good 15 minutes trying to convince me to play Stellaris. I was
It's
like,
so good.
all right. I mean, you're really into this. He's like, I'll teach you. I'll show you the basics.
You said you've got it. You said you already have it.
Actually,
what
I will
started
check.
the conversation.
I think I have it. Let me see.
It's so good. It's
I
honestly
think I
so
got it for
anyone who
free.
doesn't know, it's basically a spaceship, like, kind of like if you've played Civilization or Crusader Kings. It's that style of game, but sci-fi and all about managing your planets and getting a Starfleet and stuff. Wink, getting Starfleeted in the face right now. That's definitely a phrase. He's got a big shield, but it's not going to be big enough. BLG just slapping with their wallets at this point. Shun in the middle of everyone, but can't get anything done. Icon finishes off on, and the last man standing, Uakai, trying to escape the claw of doom. Will they be the claw of safety for him as he makes it back to the fountain?
I don't know if I have Stellaris. It might be a disaster.
That's okay. I forgive you. It does cost a lot of money if you include all the expansions. The nice thing is, you can play the expansions on multiplayer if one person has them. So you can play with me, play all of the expansions. You're welcome, Jack. If anyone in chat wants to get a big Stellaris going, like, hit me up. But BLG gonna find themselves a game here. It's 2-1 in the end to BLG, and they finally get a second win on the board.
And look, game 1